Ladies and gentlemen, hello, hello. A very warm welcome to TomosWorld, today where the art is our topic. Art I have created over the past 20 or even 25 years or so. I'm a little bit of a, virtuose artist. I like to make music, I like to write, I like to paint, I like to draw and create content on YouTube and Twitch and many other forms as well. I even have a podcast and, I just need a bit of a creative outlet. And why not bring you along on a bit of a journey into a virtual world, which I'm standing here right now. It's a 3D space in spatial.io. It's a web page, a site where everyone can for free, or there's even also paid plans as far as I know, have a 3D virtual environment in which you can be creative and evolve yourself and create your space in a 3D environment. You can, as you can see down here, you can have voice chats, you can even turn on the camera, you can have reaction and emotes and chat, and it's an open multiplayer, multi-online community kind of thing. Currently my one is, I think, online, truly. I'm very happy to share the link here to Tomos Gallery, Tomos Art Gallery. The thing is, I just have it as a hobby. I love what I do. It's a bit of a hobby. It's great fun, and I need the creative outlet. During my lifetime, it is not very realistic that I shall be, or my artwork shall be hanging in the great museums of around the world, and I will make millions of dollars or euros earning with my artwork. But maybe, who knows? Maybe if a curator of an art museum or an arts director likes an artwork that you can see here today, let's begin our journey, then maybe as of today I will become a very famous and very wealthy and lucrative actual artist indeed. So, pretty cool setting. As you can see, the sun is kind of setting or rising. We're out here in the middle of a lake or middle of the ocean, and here is the entrance to the Tomos Art Gallery. The thing is, it's incredible that nowadays we have this technology and we can have a 3D space. I curated this. I'm the museum director. I'm the art curator of my own very artwork. Those are all photographies of real artwork I have back there in my actual painted and printed or scribbled or drawn paper artwork, and I photographed it all and curated it here all together. So we are being greeted here by this hallway. It's the kind of entranceway. As you can see, we can look out to the beautiful lake, to the beautiful ocean. And we're being greeted by a huge centerpiece, a huge artwork, an abstract one. This one here is actually hanging above my bed. It's 1 meter by 1 meter on canvas. And it's literally just white wall paint and black wall paint. And I created those very abstract lines and shapes and forms. And the interesting thing is, there is only one contrast round thing here. The only not straight edge or angle in this artwork is here, the circle in the middle, as a bit of a contrast. And yeah, I find it fascinating how minimalistic it can be. But it can be a QR code. If you look at it from afar or so, maybe, try scanning it with your very mobile phone device. And yeah, you can see some forms here. You can see a chair or so. You can see letters. You can see maybe a top-down view from a city with roads. It could be buildings with a courtyard here once in a while in there. It can be many things. And yeah, open to interpretation. And I just... I have this actually for quite many years. I think I did this 10 years ago or so, and it's been hanging over my bed in my bedroom since then. 1 meter by 1 meter. It's up for sale if you like. I'm very happy to receive your offers. So, and this artwork is flanked to the left and right. You know, I had my period where I really, truly enjoyed Gerhard Richter works. He's a German, very wealthy and very famous artist. He loves the so-called squeegee or Rakeltechnik. I don't know what it's in English. The scratching technique where you splatter or put all of the paint on the canvas and then you mix it with a palette, with a plastic, hard surface plastic device, and just scrape it down and left and right, and just, you know, try to work some details in there as well. And yeah, I was obsessed with Gerhard Richter. I had my phase where I painted a lot of things like this. This is on paper. I think it's like 80 by 60. Always when I say measurements, it's always in centimeters. Here in Europe and of course in Germany, I don't really know the inches or feet or so I always will refer to centimeters. If you're truly interested, maybe someone is, I don't know then you are very welcome to, you know, write me and like the video if you truly enjoyed my Tomos Art Gallery. Yeah, a bit of a Gerhard Richter experience here. Then an individual work of mine. This is on a small piece of, just a normal piece of paper, just some abstract, colorful lines. Here it's a bit of a more of a color study, you know, what color schemes go well together. And yeah, as you can see, we will see a history, we will see a evolvement, we will see a, you know, a wave, a line up and down through my art history, truly, what phases I have had. And I did portraits, I did landscapes, I did abstract, and I did photography and many things. It's a pretty, you know, I'm so happy and glad I can, you know, curate this and make this journey with you together and share it. And yeah, I can't wait what you think of all of this. I've shown a few months ago a few pictures. I think we did on Twitch, on one of my Twitch live streams. We did a bit of a live art gallery showcase or so, or art podcast. And yeah, today I thought, let's hit it. Let's go for a video. Here we have, it's not photography. Well, originally it truly is photography, but as from seen from space, because those images here, this one and the one to my back, actually satellite photography imagery from our planet's surface, Earth. I went on Google Earth or Google Street Maps. Actually, no, Google Earth it is, yeah. And it is a hobby of mine, just panning around, zooming around, and finding great shapes and colors and amazing themes and, yeah, abstract looking or beautiful looking or grotesque looking sceneries, landscapes, colors and patterns and whatever of our planet. This is actually satellite imagery, if I recall correctly, of Australia. There are some very colorful and strange looking lakes in Australia here as seen from space. And yeah, I had it as a hobby, you know, taking screenshots. Those are screenshots, and I photo edited a little bit, you know, more saturation and maybe the slightest bit, you know, putting all the watermarks. There was a lot of watermarks of Google all over those images. Actually, you can literally see it. I cannot zoom, but you can see up here in this very top right corner, you can see the navigation wheel. See, as I said it, you can see the navigation wheel of Google Street View or Google Earth here. I actually forgot to fully Photoshop this out. Pretty cool, yeah? You know, I'm also just a human. I can overlook something or can make mistakes, but in art, as we know from our good friend Bob Ross, there is no mistakes, only happy little accidents that happen. So with this approach, we have a look at this one. Those are some mountains and rivers and glaciers running down in some mountains somewhere. And yeah, pretty cool. I have printed out on gloss paper, gloss photography paper, those all of those satellite imagery photos. I have them all actually printed out back there in my art folder. So we have the entrance hall finished. 5 of those beautiful and very different but yet beautiful and creative artworks of mine. So shall we go left or right? Left or right? 1, 2, 3, 4. We go to the right. Let's begin to the right hand side here. What have we got? We are being greeted. Oh yeah. Beautiful. The way I have set it up, I think we have 4 wings, 4 of those chambers, 4 of those wings centered around the centerpiece, or you know, winged around the centerpiece here in the middle. So, and each wing has 3 main pieces, 3 centerpieces, and then being flanked left and right by satellite imagery of my Google Earth Street View satellite imagery hobby. So here we have a bit of a study as well, on a normal piece of paper, 20 by 30 centimeters. And it's also just an abstract test, really, with colors and pencil and biro, some ink. And what I used here, I think it was just a normal cup. I traced the edge of the cup and created those shapes here. And then I just filled in a few gaps here and there to give a sense of depth, a sense of color, and a sense of creativity, and to make it some artwork. Yes, I don't know what it's called, I don't know what it is, but that is what it is. Next piece. This one here is a section of a way larger piece. Actually not that large, but I think, how large was it truly? I think also just a normal 20 by 30 piece of paper. So coming from the greater part here of a bit of a bigger artwork, I opted and chose this particular section from it. You can see some surrounding little sections, but this was the centerpiece, the main piece for me. As you can see, I left the inside empty and made dots, very small, many dots all around this atomaric, you could say it's a microscopic photography of atoms or DNA or bacteria or life forms or cells or something like that. It's abstract. It has biro as well, and it has the normal ink pens, Sharpie pens, something like that. And yeah, just trying to make some shapes, forms, and colors coming alive. Here, this reminds me of Joan Miro, if I'm not mistaken, really trying to hit the minimalistic, abstract, just literally letting the mind free, letting the lines flow and the colors grow. And yeah, just trying to, it's not, I mean, you could, as you can see here, this could be a nose and this could be a mouth of a face. You could interpret some things into this, but I just recently saw this. When I made this, I had no intention of making a face or no intention of showing anything in particular. It's just, you know, making the forms, making the shapes, and just filling in a few colors here and there. And that for me is being just letting loose, scribbling. But yet again, it is still art. For me, it is truly still art. And then more photography from space. Here's some fields or so. I can't really remember. I should have written down where everything is. I do believe, actually, I do believe I do have an Instagram account. I will try to not forget to put the link into the description, because there is an Instagram account where I have posted. Actually, it is, yeah, it is all on my, actually, Photos by Tomos. On my private Instagram account are all of those photos indeed. Some fields here, and on the other side, pretty cool. This really reminds me here, who knows and who remembers cave art of the very ancient caveman. I think it's 4,000 or 20,000 BC of Lascaux, the cave paintings of Lascaux in France. One of the very first artworks we have somehow discovered from the early hunter-gatherers in France. And there are actually paintings that remind me, you know, the buffalo. I think the buffalo depiction reminds me of this one here. And yeah, this is also just, I think it's in the desert, in the Sahara Desert or Gobi Desert, satellite imagery. I think it is a lake truly here. And yeah, some surrounding lakes and a few, you know, dunes and whatnot. It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. You know, the colors that we have at our disposal in the universe and on Earth itself. Earth itself, our planet, is the greatest artist of all time, indeed. I think let's go to the opposite side here, to the second section. Once again, we have 3 centerpieces left and right, then some satellite imagery. Let's begin with this one. This is a very small piece. This is just literally, I think 15 by 15 centimeters. I tried scale here and tried to abstractly create a vision where an older person, a grown-up person, and a kid standing on a beach or out in the nature watching a sunrise or sunset on the ocean here, just looking at it. And I tried to have the kid looking up to the to the grown up, and of course we are facing the back side of those two. And I tried shade or shadow or like rendering, so to say. You know, the light comes from there, from where the sun, where the bright yellow evening or morning sky is, and I tried to have water reflections and casting the shadow in the opposite direction. I don't know how good of a job I did, but yeah, here I am trying to have, you know, sense of scale, sense of color, sense of lighting, and yeah, it's somehow good and somehow not. I don't know, because those white lines here, because I thought, hey, I have to make this. This is one of my early works, by the way, with, is it oil? No, it's actually also wall paint, actual wall painting mixed together with a bit of water, with some white here and there. And so I thought I put some white on the left-hand side because the light is coming from here, from the left-hand side. But why then did I put white color on the right-hand side here, where it should be a bit darker? Yet to this day, I have not fully discovered, understood, and grasped the concept of lighting and shading and values. It's very, very, very hard for me indeed. So here's a vision. One of my very rare occasions where I truly had a visual vision, because many of my other works are abstract or depicting a real life scenario. This is a true surrealistic vision I had. You know, I also thought a huge sun setting or rising in the horizon, in the background here, a floating guitar on the ocean, and some, you know, a figurine, some eyes looking and staring at us, and some stairways. I'm so sad that I did not have the sense of, you know, horizon line and vanishing points and things like that, because as you can see, it doesn't really give me a sense of depth. Yes, the guitar is a bit bigger and it goes back into the horizon, but the stairs, I think I somehow failed at the stairs going up, leading up to the fretboard of the guitar. But otherwise, this is the vision I had. This is the idea I had. You know, there's a guy sitting here on the sound hole of the guitar, just with his legs hanging in there, just fishing or sitting, and this guy here walking up the stairway, not to heaven, but stairway to the guitar itself. So, next one, a very, very early and very bad work of mine, just pencil and a bit colors here and there. I tried to paint reflection here of a girl from behind, wearing a skirt, looking, you know, nowhere. You know, I don't have a sense of room, a sense of scale. What I just tried here is human autonomy, which I absolutely failed. I mean, look at the arm here, huge and wide and long, and this one, this one is very thin. And yeah, I totally failed. The skirt is way too big here. It's a very early work. I tried anatomy. And interesting that I kept, yeah, because, I mean, not a hope and not a chance I had drawing or painting faces. That's why my first works here are always human figures from behind, where I don't have to paint the face, indeed. So, yeah, a girl from behind wearing a blue skirt and I think a blue satchel, a blue little purse or so. Yeah, total failure. But yeah, is it art? Is it bad? Is it good? I do not know. It's just what I tried. It's a practice art. And can you truly fail at practice? I don't know. So, another desert satellite picture taken from Google Earth. Somewhere in the desert. I think that's actually somewhere in the Sahara. Some roads, some fields. And yeah, I just like the abstractness here. And the contrast, truly, of the red soil, the red sand, and the black fields here. That's one. And we have another one over there. A very colorful and very amazing one. This is incredible. Mountains again. Also, I do believe in the Sahara Desert or any other desert with some mountains and hills in it and some rivers flowing through. And please don't ask me where the colors are coming from. This looks like the creation of a galaxy. You know, this could be stargazing, astrophotography, or it could be, you know, if our iris, if you zoom in with a microscope very, very deep into our eyes, it could be a very, very close-up macro of someone's eyes. Because I think one of the most fascinating and amazing looking textures and shapes we have is the colorful inside of our eyes. It's amazing. The irises of eyes look amazing. And this could be, you know, it is truly satellite imagery from above, from Earth, but it could be creation of stars in a galaxy. It could be a macro of some eye. It's incredible. This could be anything, and I love it. And the colors, I mean, incredible. I'm still speechless to this day, and I took this like, I don't know how many years ago. So we have 2 of the wings finished already. Let's go to the third one, and then, you know, I need to have a plan where we're going, and you always get a sneak peek here and there. And the third section here is once more a bit of my Gerhard Richter time. I did 3 of them here with the splattering and scraping technique. Other color scheme, you know, some more brown, red, and golden tones. I tried to make some fields or so, recreating some summer golden fields or autumn fields from above, maybe on Earth as well. And yeah, some Gerhard Richter practice of mine. Here, another one. This could be a mixture truly of Gerhard Richter and Jackson Pollock, because it combines a little bit the overflow, the splattering, and the craziness and the colorfulness of both. But yeah, I really love this yellow section here in the middle. that gives it a bit of a more dividing between this very black blob here in the top left corner and the more sectioned black fields here down below. And yeah, the yellow is kind of the horizon line, the dividing line, and then some white highlights splattered in here as well. Another Gerhard Richter practice of mine. And here, I don't know what I did here. I think I tried Gerhard Richter, but ended up with... yeah, you know what happened? You know what happened in the end? I think inadvertently, another piece of paper has fallen on this artwork when it was still fresh, when the paint was still wet and still fresh. And then pulling off the other sheet of paper, this is where the remainders of the other sheet of paper is somehow a little bit visible here in the middle. And yeah, I also tried once again some tracing of cups, you know, some arc shapes, a little bit of geometry, and then I tried to give it some depth here, trying to make an edge. And I don't even know, I think it's watercolor, but it also could be wall paint. I really can't remember what happened with this one. We would have to have a look at it in real life. Actually, also a bit of a smaller one. I think it maybe is 20 by 20 centimeters. Here, another one, satellite imagery. Now, this is really one that could be literally of a person with yellow eyes, indeed. But truly, it is some sort... Oh, no, they throw me out. Why did they throw me out? Why did they throw me out? Can I go back? Why did they lock me off? What is happening? I have to... I had no idea. Let's go back inside. Thank you. You can even, if you like, you can even do all of this in third person for those who want to do it in third person, but I don't like third person, so here we are in first person. So let's go back to the section we were just in. We were at, which section were we at? Yeah, this one here. So, what did I say? We have a person with yellow eyes, macro shot, you know, but it's, I think it is a river delta from seen above, seen from space. Satellite imagery, and then we have another one over here. Those are definitely also some mountains. I think it was the Atlas Mountains in the Sahara Desert once more. It could be somewhere totally different as well. As I said, I can't really remember where it was. And yeah, let's talk about colors. Absolutely incredible. You know, those red tones, brown tones, and then this incredible turquoise blue kind of stuff. What minerals and what rocks are those? Really impressive that we have all those colors on Earth. So let's go to the fourth section before we make all the stuff in between and then the center part. So this is the fourth wing, so to say. So here I tried now really real life stuff, real life portraits, somehow a little bit photorealistic, somehow a bit more abstract, somehow a bit more childish, a bit more easy. But yeah, let's begin with one of my favorite trulies, the penguin portrait. I love this one because it's simple, the black, with all black background, and then just the portrait here of a penguin, really, and that's what it is. I'm really happy with this one. I love this one. What I really had learned here, I don't know how visible it is on the video or on the screen. The white fur of the penguin is not truly just white. I really had a hard time mixing such a off-white with the slightest hint of yellow in there, the slightest hint of gray in there, that it's not just pure white, because they are truly not. I really studied the fur of the penguins, and I have learned, hey, there is a bit of a off-white colors in there as well. A portrait of a penguin, Tomo, I think some 10 years ago or so. Here, a little bit of a childish looking or abstract looking portrait of an elephant somewhere in the steppe in Africa. I don't know why the sky is so saturated blue, and I don't know why his legs are so crooked, and I don't know why I don't have good shading. It's flat, you know, I don't have a good sense of shading, so I don't really have a good sense of depth. I like, and this was particular, the bit more abstract here and the actual corners and angles within the nose of the elephant. And yeah, I tried to give him tusks, and yeah, I totally failed at the tail here. And actually I tried, if I remember, if I can see the trees now, because I have seen the way I painted the trees. I think I was playing Minecraft at that time a lot, so I think I tried to make particularly looking a little bit of blocky. I tried, hey, Minecraft is blocky, so I'll give it a little bit of a blocky or pixelated look. Yeah, I don't know what I shall think of that. Anatomy is not a strength of mine. It truly is not. So, for those of you who know Jenna and Julian of the Twitch and YouTube world, you know, Jenna Marbles was a very successful and very famous YouTuber. She quitted YouTube a few years ago, but nevertheless, Jenna and Julian have a very cute dog. They have many dogs. They have 5 dogs, and one of my favorite ones is, of course, Peachy, or Weechy, called also. And this is an Instagram photo of Julian, and I tried to copy it and recreate a portrait of a dog, of Peachy girl, of Jenna and Julian. That's what that is. I like it. One of my better ones, but because I think this elephant was drawn from imagination, and this dog is drawn from a reference. So it seems when I draw from a reference, also of course like the penguin, from reference I usually tend to be a bit better than from imagination. That's what I have learned in this section here. And some atoll or archipelago or some island out in the middle of the nowhere, in the middle of the ocean. I don't know exactly which one it was, but yeah, incredible looking atoll or islands or lake. Was it a lake? I can't remember. But yeah, Google satellite imagery around here. Another one, which is incredible. This looks like moon, you know, the rough and desolate surface of the moon. But it truly is mountains on the earth, with nearly a black and white or monochrome color scheme to it, but it truly is in color. It is in color, maybe just the lighting. We can see the lighting is coming from the top here. The shadows casting here of the mountains going to the south, to the bottom. But it's not color corrected. I just maybe even increased the color saturation of this photo a little bit. But it looks like black and white. So this mountain range, wherever it is, very interesting that it is nearly looking as a monochrome photography or black and white. So, I do believe we have all 4 wings, is it? Let me double check. Yeah, we are back here on the entrance. So we made a full walk around, and now we have some special sections, so to say. Let's begin with the big walls here. So we had this one and we had this one. Then the big sections here, 2 of my favorite ones. We have together as neighbors and as a symbiosis, left a Jackson Pollock impression, and to the right another Gerhard Richter impression. Those both are in real life quite huge, 1 meter by 80 or so centimeters. Both on paper, both with wall color. I didn't invest in acrylics or oil. I actually invested in wall paint, wall color. And yeah, I really love and like how my Jackson Pollock impression, like the huge mural that Jackson Pollock did, I think for Peggy Guggenheim, I think. I can't remember and can't recall where the actual mural from Jackson Pollock is right now. Is it in the MoMA or is it in Paris or Venice? I can't recall, but I tried a little bit of a mural here. And this one is a section of a way larger painting as well. Yeah, just some lines splattered in with many, many, many layers. I think it has at least 10 or 7 layers of color here, indeed. Just literally don't thinking, just going crazy, filling in the colors and trying to make it somehow come together as a unit, come together as an artwork. And I absolutely love it. It could be reminded a little bit of graffiti street art, but it's not. It's not. Graffiti, to be honest, I do respect and I appreciate everyone who knows and does graffiti, but it's not my type of artwork. I don't have a connection to it, but for everyone who knows it and is capable of doing it, absolute high respect, but it's not my type of art indeed. And here once more, a cross-section of Gerhard Richter impression. Different color schemes. I think I have 4 or 5 different color schemes of Gerhard Richter's. And this is one of my favorite ones, since it is also truly in real life rather large. I think at least 1 meter by 1 meter. I have some very small pictures, and I also have some very large pictures and paintings as well. Hanging here on behind, some more abstractions. This is a small one, a normal piece of paper, 20 by 30 or 10 by 20, something like this. Yeah, some more lines and shapes and circles filled in with some different color bubbles, colorful bubbles, and yeah, some different colored strings or sticks connecting a few of those together, all on a gray shade of background here. Many shades of gray here, indeed. Yeah, some abstraction. I kind of like it. It's minimalistic, but it doesn't say anything. But it could be so many things. And yeah, it's somehow interesting, somehow boring, somehow pretty good, and somehow pretty bad. It's everything. This has everything. And this is at least also, this is one older one. This is one of my actual first ones, maybe 20 years old, 15 years old, something like this. Hanging next to it, also one of the very, very early abstraction and minimalistic Jean Miro tests. Just literally a few colors. Very interesting that here the color scheme does not fit at all. It doesn't come in together as a unit somehow, but the layout, the weight of the artwork is okay to me. You see, even I didn't even bother. It is a practice art. I didn't even bother finishing, painting all the way down, filling in. Oh, I scrolled out, sorry. Finishing and painting out all to the border. But this was just, how can I learn it? How can I go by it? And how free can my mind be for being a minimalistic abstraction artist? So, then let's continue. Let's just continue our right-hand side circle. Oh, yeah, here. Let's go left or right, left or right. Let's go here first. I had a phase where I learned then a little bit of perspective. I just recently, like within the past 5 or so years, I learned about horizon lines and vanishing points. And in Microsoft Paint, in the simplest of art or painting programs, I created this. So I painted in a horizon line and then some vanishing points and tried to make some shapes and forms and shadows and scale and depth. And yeah, this has something of... I particularly let all the lines, the helping lines, the vanishing point lines in there as a test for me to really learn it, to really understand how geometric forms or shapes work in a 3D space, in a 3D environment. And yeah, this has some sort of abstract, artistical, architectural style to it. And I really love this. I really love this. Just monochrome, black and white, straight lines, hard edges, hard shadows, and then some resemblance of nature, a bit of a road with some trees and some sort of minimalistic abstract form. I even tried here, as you can see, how do shadows work. I'm proud of this one. I did this with a YouTube tutorial. I followed the tutorial and it seemed it worked. Hanging here on behind, another one. Actual now architecture. Learning here where the sun comes from, where the light comes from, how do shadows work, how do perspective, 2-point perspective work. And I try to build here a factory with some sunshine coming from the top left and yeah, leaving in all the helping lines where the light goes, where the shadows are being cast and where the vanishing points are. I love this one. I love this little series here of minimalistic architectural studies, so to say. And now very cool ones here just hanging behind. More Gerhard Richter, more abstraction. And yeah, just, you know, every artist I think has done one of those. Just the black square. Is it truly square? Is it truly black? It's up for interpretation. What does it mean? What does it show? What shall it depict? It doesn't matter. I don't know. I just did it. I want to do it. Black Square by Tomo. I think how old is that? I think also 15 years, 10 years, 15 years. It's not very huge. And one thing I can remember, it is several layers. That's why it is so truly, truly black, very dense. I think it has also 5 layers of black coat, black paint in there. And then still pretty interesting. I don't know how it comes across on the video. Due to the age of the paper and some scratches and scrapes here and there, that gives it a bit of a more personality and livelihood to it. Black square, indeed. And some more studies here of abstraction. Once more, many of straight lines and angles, hard edges, and then as a contrast, the round circle here. Not even round, but more organic form, organic shape here, as a contrast to all the straight lines. Just a bit of a practice. And here, I think that's my last one, my last Gerhard Richter test, which is one of my least favorite ones. But those, you know, it's a recurring theme. As you can see, maybe you remember the very first large painting that hangs over my bed in my sleeping room. We have recurring shapes here, you know, 90 degree angles, minimalistic shapes, straight lines. It is a recurring theme. Oh, I zoomed out again. It is a recurring theme of mine, having straight angles, straight edges. So, next one is those two here. Just last year, in 2022, I found out about AI art on Discord, a so-called AI, which is called Midjourney. And yeah, I typed in and wrote in some prompts, and that's what it spit out here. This one was I think, Wright Flyer inspired biplane in the desert, sand dunes, evening sky, golden hour. And that's what it has spat out, and I absolutely love it. This, for me, is beautiful. I don't know, and I don't care what many people think and say about AI art. I love it. As an artist, I love creating art with it. And that's what it spat out. It is a limitless source of inspiration. For me, AI art is a limitless source of absolutely amazing inspiration indeed. And this was actually, I think, one of the first or the first prompt I did for the AI art. I typed in, I think, hand-drawn portrait, minimalistic lines, 18th century steampunk factory city hot air balloon or so. That's what my prompt for the AI art was, and that's what it sped out, and I love it. And I could see myself trying to recreate this, paint this, or have this as a art print on a huge canvas. I love this picture. I absolutely love this. And it truly is one of a kind. I think if anyone else would type in the very same prompts, it would spit out something else, something different. And I just had this as a vision, you know. I wanted, actually, what I had in mind is that the city, the steampunk industrial cityscape or skyline from below here is made up, or the balloon is made up of the city. So I thought in the balloon space is the steampunk city with pipes and machines and machinery. But the AI spat it out the other way around. It has made the balloon, the hand-drawn balloon, and made the city down below. But yeah, I was still happy with it. I absolutely love this one. So, where shall we go next? We have a few more. Ah yeah, the other side here, before we go into the very center. Do I have this one twice? It's possible, because we have seen this one before. So let's have a look at this one. We haven't seen this one before. Also, a cross-section and part of a way larger study and test. I have to be honest, I photoshopped the very top left part. I copied, I think, this part here. I copied this part a little bit to over there because I was absolutely not happy with the very rest of the top left corner of this painting or abstraction test. I was happy with the rest of it. You know, it all comes together. We have some elements of red here as a contrast, and then some rounded shapes, and then once again the crazy lines and angles, and then yeah, it's still interesting though. It's very busy. It's not very calm, but it has something. The longer you look at it, the better it becomes. Abstraction by TomosWorld, and this is one of the early ones, truly. 10 years, 15 years ago. That's quite an old one. Actually, at least 15 years ago. That is an old one indeed. So, I think we have all of the inside here. Let's go. We have a second ring here. Let's just begin right here. On the outside ring. Oh yeah. Amazing things coming up, ladies and gentlemen. This one is a huge one. Actually hand-drawn on a large piece of paper, 1 meter or 80 by 60 or so. Some scribblings. When I was on the phone with my friends for over many years and many months, I scribbled and just, you know, scribbled around on this piece of paper, always with the black ink pen, and this is what came out of it, you know. When you don't think, when you just let it loose, you know. I was on the phone with my friends talking about anything and everything and whatever, and this is just what my hands did, and it's huge, and it's not finished. The piece of paper is way bigger. It's just a part of it, and I love it. But we have also, of course, as you can see, recurring themes, new themes, you know, some floral themes here, a bit of a tree going on. We have, again, this theme, the DNA kind of atomaric view. We have a peace sign or victory sign up there. We have highly detailed stuff. Pretty busy, pretty much going on here. And of course the lines and shapes and angles here going on up there as well. I love this one. It's still not finished. It's still back there. Maybe I will finish it one day. Then of course I also love photography itself. This is a remainder of a huge tree stem. In black and white, in the middle of a field, in the middle of the winter time, I think, or autumn time. That's just where I like to go for a walk, and I love taking photos. A portrait of a tree stem in black and white. That's what that is. On the other side here, I was in Riga, in Latvia, in 2006. I remember this date. This was taken in 2006, just a street photography kind of thing, a school bus driving by. I mean, it's not a good photography. The sky is all washed out. It's all overexposed, all this white, so much light going on. But I just loved, I think the contrast here from much white going on and then the bus, the little school bus, and then this hard black shadow underneath the bus, and then with the round organic shapes here through or within all the more straight lines and hard edges here. And yeah, it was a snapshot, but nevertheless in black and white. It gives a cool artistic sense here of street photography. Love it, love it. So on the backside here, who knows, of course, Pink Floyd. What is this album called? I would have to cheat and Google right now. I think Reformation Bell or so. I can't remember. I can't recall. Some of you who are really into music may know it right off the bat. And yeah, that's just a literal test in watercolor for me here. Album cover of a very amazing band and a very amazing album. I know the album. I think it's Reformation Bells. Something Bells, I think, if it rings a bell. But yeah, pretty cool album and very amazing artwork. I would love to be an artist that would be able to come up. I would love to come up myself with something like this, because who knows it? I mean, it can be seen in two ways. It could be seen as two statues, two monuments, two faces that look each other, that face each other, but it also can be seen as one face with two eyes and the nose and the mouth here looking directly at me. And that's what makes it so amazing. It could be a face looking at me or two faces in the picture looking at each other. I love this so much, and that's why I painted it. And it came out okay. It came out rather good. So more black and white photographies around here. Yeah, I had a little series here a few years ago, maybe 5 years ago, where I had a chance to capture great lightning strikes in the vicinity, hitting some trees, hitting some buildings, and yeah, night sky, nighttime, long exposure photography. I put down the ISO very low, made it like 30 seconds, and then when I had a chance to capture the lightning strike, I took it. And this, of course, is one of my favorite ones. This one is actually not hitting the house, but it's way farther behind the house. But you know, the overall shape, the overall structure, and the magnitude and the energy depicted in this one is absolutely incredible. Lightning strike, black and white photography by TomosWorld. I think it was 2015, 2018, something like this. And what I really love, one of my favorite subjects, cloud, black and white photography, landscapes, somehow. And here the scale, it's a local lake here in the vicinity where I like to go swimming in the summertime. And it's a rather old picture as well. This is from maybe... I also have this one on my Instagram. This maybe is at least 5 years or so, 7 years, something like that. Maybe 8 years, maybe 10 years old. And I love I love the scale. I love the cloud, black and white photography. And as you can see on the top left corner, on the bottom left corner, this little stick here was just lying here on the pebble beach. And I just stuck it in there to have a little Easter egg in this picture here as well. So we continue on the outer edge. So we have the lightning strikes. We continue. Let's run down the alley, run down the hallway. I was in... No, actually, this is... this is Venice. No. Valencia. The left one here is Valencia, but this one here is... I think it's Munich, actually. A bus stop in Munich. Real-life, architectural, minimalistic, black and white photography, street photography. I just seen those parallel lines here of a roof of a bus station. I'm standing underneath it, shooting straight up. And yeah, I just loved the contrast, black and white. And yeah, trying to be architectural photography here as well. And another beautiful one, minimalistic, in Valencia, in España. I was on holiday there, and there is the so-called, what's it called? What was it called? I don't even try. Aqua Pelagio something, aquacultural architectural. I don't know what it is. I will put the link down below or put it on screen. And yeah, minimalistic, huge roof here of an incredible building. It reminds me a little bit from the overall shape of the Opera House in Sydney. But this is truly in Valencia here. And yeah, once more, the shapes and contrast here of light and shadow, of brightness and darkness, and lines, straight lines, and then also curved lines. Love it. Pretty cool shot. Pretty cool photography. What have we got here? Bit of a snapshot as well. 3 construction site cranes here on a closing in a thunderstorm or summer storm. As you can see, the corn is overdue. The cornfield aircraft is taking off. The light is somehow shining down onto the cranes. And then the cloud and the sky is opening up a little bit. Pretty cool shot, pretty cool picture. I'm really happy and delighted with this one, how it came out. We have more to come. We have been here. Have we been here before? No, we haven't. Okay. So more satellite imagery. Some actual fields. There should be a tractor here because those are actual fields. And I think if I recall correctly, or have I photoshopped it out, I think tractor is driving along somewhere there, tending the fields, the golden fields from scene. Of course, there is not a tractor there because it's seen from space. So but something was with a tractor. I can't. Was it this one? No, what that is, actually, if I click here, we can see it a little better. There we go. We can see it a little better. A huge tower of some pipeline seen from space with a huge shadow being cast. I don't know if it's electricity pipeline or oil pipeline or gas pipeline in incredible orange landscape somewhere, I think in Siberia or Russia or something like that. Love it. We continue. I think even here once more, this is not truly now Gerhard Richter. This is just splattering colors onto the canvas. And it is quite huge as well. It's a little cross section of a larger picture. Maybe 6 years old, and yeah, the color scheme is not very nice, but as I look at it right now, it could be a very abstraction of some sort of you know, the water lilies of Monet or so. Because I remember one picture of Monet that is quite blue and also, yeah, I think it's impressionistic. And I love Monet. The water lilies and gardens and bridges of Monet are incredible. But somehow the water scheme here, you know, it could be some sort of diffuse, abstract water from above. I don't know. It could be anything and everything and nothing. I'm not particularly happy with this one, but I put it in anyway. So here, a little series of black and white photography. Let's go through it. Once more, we are in Valencia, in the place I cannot pronounce. And yeah, pretty cool architectural photography. Here, of course, the symmetry is what really makes this picture, and the shapes, the lines, the forms, the contrast, and yeah, just great, just great. Here, a local deer, a portrait of a local deer, very nice. He just came by. He's within a cage, or not a cage, but a fence. He's in a protected, fenced-in place, and I shot my camera through. I held my camera through the fence, so everything was all right. Cool portrait of a deer, and then a backlit, huge tree. It doesn't really come to scale here, but it's a quite large tree. In the middle of the summer, I was out for a walk, and the backlit with the clouds and the lights and the shadows is amazing, and therefore the contrast really has a great impact. The sun is literally behind the tree, and the sun rays go in a spherical or round shape behind the trees. And I love this one. One of my favorite black and white photographies I did. And then a classic, you know, some little rock figurine or rock monument or sculpture. I was out on a walk on a vast, vast field. I just picked up some rocks and I shot it. Quite small, quite tiny. Maybe this is 10 or 15 centimeters in height. But I can remember, this is like also quite a few years ago, at least 6-7 years ago. It took me ages. It took me ages to actually stack the rocks in this particular shape. I wanted this conical shape, of course. I had a very specific shape in mind, a very specific goal in mind. I did it, but it took, I can remember, I was there for like a half an hour. They wouldn't stack, they wouldn't hold, and I was luckily patient enough to stack them in the exact way I wanted. And I think even from behind here, I have sticks sticking into the rocks or holding them in behind that they hold up here and keep standing, because it took me ages to stack them like that. They wouldn't hold up. They wouldn't hold up. So we continue this way. Some street art, street photography, pretty funny and pretty interesting. The roadworks here. So this is just a fence, the foundation of a fence to the left, and we're looking down onto the ground. And some road workers have corrected here some gaps and cracks in the road. And funny, a little, let's have a look at like this. Yeah, a little rock was inadvertently lying there, where of a, you know, very abstract giraffe or even dinosaur the eye could have been or would have been. And yeah, I thought, hey, that looks so cool. It looks so real. It looks so funny. Abstract street giraffe or dinosaur on the street in abstraction, made up from this tar or bitumen or whatever it is here, filling the gaps. And yeah, pretty funny. I love it. Some fun little black and white street photography. So we have the other side. Let's run to the other side. And then we have the outer, I think the outer ring. No, we have it. I think we have it. Are we through? We were here. Were we here? We were here. Ah, you know where we haven't been? On the very inside, in the very middle. That's where we have not been. We have now everything on the outside and the wings. And here now, let me invite you to the heart, to the centerpiece. 4 Nautilus vessels of Captain Nemo, created by me by prompts of the AI art of Midjourney. And I typed in also steampunk, hand-drawn, fine line art portrait of Nautilus submarine Captain Nemo or something like this. That's why what I have typed in. And yeah, I love those fantastic and very detailed portraits of the Nautilus, or impressions of the Nautilus submarine of Captain Nemo of 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. One of my favorite stories, one of my favorite books. I think this one is the best one here. Pretty cool. And this one is nice as well. Yeah, AI art. I love it. I love playing with it, what comes out of it. I love being creative and utilizing it. And I love being here in my very own museum, in my very own art gallery, walking around, inviting you, joining in, and yeah, leading you as a guided tour, with a guided tour through my very first curated tour of my very museum. Pretty cool, isn't it? Everyone can have that. So if you're a bit of an artist, let's go back out again. I don't know where the exit is actually. This way? Yeah, this way. If you are an artist, go to spatial.io, spatial.io, written or spelled. I'll put some links into the description as we venture back out again here on the main entrance, back out to the sunshine. Yeah, let's go third person for this time around. Yeah, this was our figurine walking around here. Can we go into the water? Oh, actually we can. Ah! He's even oh! Okay, I didn't know you could do that. I didn't know you can actually fall from the edge of the... I didn't know that. That is even cooler, that you can literally fall from the edge of the world. I had no idea. So, selfie time. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been an honor. It was really interesting for me how it goes. I hope it was at least a little bit of interesting for you, you know, being my guest in my very museum on the tour. Yeah, a time frame of like 20 years artwork of mine. If you're interested, write to me and yeah, let me know in the comments how you found it. What is your favorite artwork? Also, if you have a spatial account or any other account, you know, throw art at me. If you have an Instagram, if you have a sketchbook, if you have a YouTube where you show art, I want to see your art if you like. Wow, it's been a good hour, ladies and gentlemen. I let you go now. Thanks a million. It's been a true pleasure and honor alike. Have a good day, good evening, good night, whatever it is for you. Thanks a lot and see you on our next journey, wherever it may lead us and take us. Alrighty, bye-bye.